How many buttons have you pressed today that did absolutely nothing? Not maybe nothing, not probably nothing, nothing. The elevator button you hit this morning, the crosswalk button you press every day, the thermostat you adjust without thinking. There's a very real chance none of them are connected to anything. And here's the disturbing part. Even after I prove it to you, you're still going to press them. Because this isn't about buttons. It's about something much deeper. The way your brain reacts when it feels like it has no control. You wake up, and you're already late for work. You rush out of your apartment. You hit the elevator button and wait. The doors open, you step inside, and without thinking, you press close door. Once, twice, again, the doors close, and you feel a small sense of relief, like you made it happen just a little faster. But you didn't. In most elevators across the United States, that button has been disabled for decades. Not broken, intentionally disconnected. After the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990, elevator doors were required to stay open long enough for accessibility, which meant no one could override the timing anymore. So instead of removing the button, they left it there. It clicks. Sometimes it lights up, but it doesn't do anything, and your brain fills in the rest. There is one exception. Firefighters can reactivate the button with a key in emergency mode. It functions. But for you, standing in that elevator on a Tuesday morning, it's been dead for over 30 years. You step outside and head toward the street. You press the crosswalk button. You wait. The light changes. You walk. And again, it feels like you made it happen. But in many cities, you didn't. A report by the New York Times found that over 2,500 of New York City's 3,250 walk buttons, more than 75%, were completely non-functional. The traffic system was already automated. The button wasn't controlling anything. It was there for you, because something strange happens when you press it. People who press the button feel like they waited less. Same exact time, different experience. You finally get to work. You sit down. It's a little cold. So you stand up, walk to the thermostat, and turn it up. And almost instantly, you feel better. But again, nothing changed. Because HVAC industry estimates suggest up to 70% of office thermostats may not be connected to anything. They're called pacifier thermostats. Real term. Modern office temperatures are controlled centrally for efficiency. Letting everyone control their own temperature would create chaos. So instead, they give you something to adjust, and complaints drop by an average of 25 to 30%. Not because the temperature changed, because you felt like it did. By the time you sat down, you've already done this 3 times. Elevator, crosswalk, thermostat. 3 actions, 0 control. But 3 moments where you felt better. That's not an accident. In 1975, psychologist Ellen Langer described something called the illusion of control. The tendency to believe we can influence outcomes that we actually can't. And your brain doesn't just like control, it needs it. When you're waiting, uncertain, stuck, your brain reads it as stress. But the moment you take action, even meaningless action, that stress drops. Not because anything changed, but because you did something. But here's what makes this genuinely unsettling. Knowing about it doesn't fix it. In one of Langer's experiments, people were asked to bet on a coin flip. Some chose their own coin. Others were assigned one. The outcome is pure chance. Choosing a coin gives you 0 advantage. But people who chose their own coin bet significantly more money because they felt like they had influence over something completely random. And it goes deeper than psychology. It's biological. When you're stuck, waiting, uncertain, unable to act, your brain releases cortisol, stress hormone. Your body is preparing for a threat. But the moment you do something, press a button, twist a dial, tap a screen, cortisol drops. Not because the situation changed, because your nervous system registered action. Here's the part that should bother you. Researchers have tested this. Tell someone the button doesn't work. Explain exactly why. Show them the disconnected wire.
Come on, come on, come on.
They press it anyway, and they still report feeling better. Your rational brain says, "This does nothing." Your nervous system says, "I press something and I feel better." Your nervous system wins every single time. And this doesn't stop in the physical world. Your phone does it too. That loading bar you stare at, sometimes it's not even tracking real progress. It's an animation designed to make you feel like something is happening. Research from Carnegie Mellon showed that users reported higher satisfaction with software that showed a progress bar, even when the actual loading time was identical. Your spinning cursor, your phone's loading animation, the pull to refresh bounce. These aren't always real-time indicators. Sometimes they're digital pacifiers, keeping you calm while the system does whatever it was going to do anyway. Every app, every website, every operating system has learned the same lesson as the elevator. Give people the appearance of progress, and they'll tolerate almost anything. So now the real question isn't whether these buttons are fake. It's whether we actually want them to be real, because removing them wouldn't change reality. It would only change how we feel about it. Wait times would feel longer. Stress would go up. Complaints would rise. The system would be more honest, and instantly worse. So instead, the world gives you something small. A button, a dial, a tap. Not to control reality, but to make reality feel controllable. And maybe that's the part we don't like admitting. We don't need control. We need the feeling of control. Next time you step into an elevator, go ahead, press the button. You'll know it does nothing, and you'll press it anyway, because now you understand. It was never about the button. This is Fact Factory. We break down the hidden logic behind everyday things.